He loves bike riding, though he doesn't own a bike. He loves 2 women, but isn't committed to either. He loves food he's never tried, people he hasn't met, countries he hasn't visited, and wine he hasn't tasted. I told him he was full of shit. He told me he never lies.
Okay, this poem comes out of one of my last years in college when I was thinking about what I was going to do for the rest of my life. My idea about what I should do, my dad's idea, didn't exactly match up. It's called Shake That Money Maker. Money, 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 money. I don't exist to make money. Now I know it's a twist because I've had to insist to my dad saying, honey, it's money we're talking about. You know you would be great in marketing. Okay, I say. Marketing what? Oh, that's not the point, sweetie. But I don't exist just to make money. I say my purpose, stop. I want to go on, but see that he is baffled. He is my father. I don't exist to make money, and he is cha-ching baffled. But then, what will you do? He says in that low, important voice, as though there is no other choice. There in his bejeweled cufflinks, back he sticks. I want to be a teacher, I tell him. He says, but you'll be poor. I'll be helping people, I say. What would the world be without good teachers? He takes a deep breath, looks up, and allows it with, well, all right. Well, all right. I get a well, all right. This is what's baffling. Z to A backwards, out of order, incomprehensible priorities. Growing up, I watched TV and thought maybe it could teach me. And you know, neither Barney nor Big Bird mentioned much about money, but they did sing about sharing. And in high school, we were required to do community service for a reason. To betray it would be treason. I can't get fulfillment from some shipment, from some sweatshop, where kids are working nonstop. No zeros and no paycheck will ever wreck my sense and defense of humanity. I want to wake up every day, not thinking about product sales or profit margin scales, but knowing I'm going to help somebody. To teach, serve, love, counsel, educate somebody. I won't be poor, I'll be opening the door, helping this world grow a little closer to its soul. So that no, I don't exist just to make money. Believe, I don't want to cry in my cubicle because I'm working at a woman-hating, backstabbing, throw you under the bus just to get ahead office on Wall Street. Dad, believe, I don't want to wince as I wave as I drive by starving children on my way from airport to resort in Jamaica. Dad, believe, I don't want to force a laugh because the CEO cracked a joke about those dirty Mexicans crawling under the fence during a casual $300 bill lunch meeting. Call me crazy, no. I will not, I cannot, and I thought that they taught us that love was the reason we're here, and I want to love you. Y tú también, y todo de la gente del mundo, claro que sí, por supuesto que sí, le ayudaré. My dad doesn't speak Spanish. So in response to my maybe overblown declaration of human compassion, he says, but you gotta make money to live, sweetie. Okay, I say. How much? But apparently, this is not the point.
The born loser takes hit after hit, until one day he finds the strength, and that's it. He finds the way to overcome the enemies who once undone his inner soul and made him run. But where that cliche story often veers is to the man who destroys his peers, whilst in brief action allows for cheers for that moment of dignity he showed in the face of fear. Well, I say fuck that. It's a waking dream erected, for that loser's no loser, not misunderstood, but misdirected. For For he takes on himself or herself, you get it, the empathy felt by the emotion unexpected when you see what others would just say if someone just said it. But that person, your loser, becomes the linguist. Now with language, your languor is felt with a twist. For that language is not always spoken through words, but also through dancing, movements of word, actions that paint, sculpt, draw. The anguish is felt when you see what he saw, or she saw, or Z saw. It doesn't matter the sex, or the race, or the history, or all the special effects. For two books, regardless of the cover, can have a similar theme. But you'll never know it until you sit down and read. And this mystical loser that chose to observe, well, he read your story, or rather he heard and watched and cried as you cried, with that spark in your eyes, it's fading inside. And the only thing worse than fearing your death is fearing you'll be the last person left still taking breaths. And when you find that voice and accept all your fears, you'll find that that voice is the same as your peers, and only through expressing your honest insights can you help those around you to finally take flight. And instead of a death that will keep you alone, you'll think of rebirth and of feeling at home on a planet, a time at a moment unexpected. You'll live the life of an artist, and through the value you bring, stay protected. Change the world to be a better place. It occurred to me something that I always knew from the time that I was a baby to those times that I grew, that the world did shake from itself a million skins. And from within each one, I was just one fragmental thin layer of love. And somehow, above me, inside me, all around me, were somethings new. And every breath I took, every molecule I chewed, there was a blessing, a curse, all disguised in a moment. And some think is of a higher power, and some people think they own me. But for me, I don't know. I've just known that it was strong. A chance for me to be redeemed, a new lyric to an unspoken song, to music that has played since the dawn of time, speaking second to a phrase that needs no rhymes, no reason, just the blink of an eye that subsides into these changing tides as a breath becomes a declaration that once screamed in the sky, I am now something as beautiful as I was my whole life. Change. And I will be that until the day I die. Change the world to be a better place. To be a part of something that we sometimes forget does not mean that the idea took a vacation. It just means that we left the right side and other sides of our brain all working to be wrong, so that a mistake could be the stained glass window pane through which we see that we belong. To something bigger than ourselves? Who cares? It could be something more small. But to be a part of something more than air is still better than there's nothing there at all. And perhaps you're a nihilist. Well, that's something too. And please forgive this naive idealist who still thinks that he's a part of you, not by proof of faith or proof of God, but by proof that whenever I count, it is neither even nor odd. For every number I count past one is a new beginning from which a new system has sprung. Change the world to be a better place. We all have our purposes, even if it means to propose that nothing is the everything from which we move. And for me, I believe my purpose is to see all some things as the change that music plays in tunes so that we can hear it again and see life isn't just another moment, but a change. That perhaps still the same, but in this time now, you've grown it because you changed. A little flicker of light went off inside your head, and when you decided whether you run or fight, or just simply stare at your death ahead, the singular moment became the magic in which all things create or break. And if you use it to change the world for the better, then it occurs to you too what we all mistake as simply a chance to change versus change the world to be a better place.
Gene Kelly. Digs that beat. Pondering the next move of sure-footed expressionism, and which actress can keep the good effect, as well-rehearsed nightingales touch the paper moon, caught by masculine strength and just choreography. Metallic of Eiffel Tower serves as backdrop for starlit pirouettes. Sirens compete with true love for starving beatnik artists, their long legs strutting away in high-heeled disdain. Dance the dance of angst, honey. Dance the dance of ciphers, black-beretted existentialism, cigarette smoke, and stylized love expressed in dry ice, spare sets, and off-balance. A film moves in a linear direction, not roundabout and questioning where from where. It demands the forward tourgéta, even as directors and editors divide to circumvent the eventuality of a conclusion. Actresses give their all. Set designers engage in eau courante. Artists make fashion look like natural. We glide to places unseen, yet known, on the heels of what we have not yet dreamed, looking for one more time. Show us the dance of dances, Mr. Kelly. Show us your physique and poignant style. Take us to where we dare not go, wish we have been, know is there. Other ones have dared to leap and fly, pushing the envelope of our atmosphere.
I look at you, and all I can see is light. You're what the sky would look like if the sun, moon, and stars could unite. If our future is half as bright as the glow that shines from your skin, then we're in for some good times. We wouldn't need candles to dine. We would eat by the glow of your light. And when we fight, it would be all right, because you'd use a lightsaber or a high-powered razor instead of words, which pose far more of a danger. Yes, you finally laid your beautiful blade into my strange and lonely life. I lay here slain, and all I can do is go towards the light. I look at you, and all I can see is light. You're what heaven would look like if the angel saints and Holy Spirit could all unite. I pray our future is half as bright as the glow that shines from your skin, and late at night when we're in bed, you and I could ignite each other's bodies like we were light brights, using bits of colors to fill the other's holes. So when we plug in our souls, the entire world can see the beauty we've created. 1,000 points illuminated and concentrated into one all-encompassing light. I look at you and all I can see is light. I guess that's what happens when eyes like yours, a smile like yours, and a soul like yours unite. I hope our future is half as bright as the glow that shines from your skin. If so inclined, we could live in Alaska where it would always be daylight. Because for 6 months there'd be constant sun, and for 6 months there'd be you. And if we had kids, we could let them choose if they want to be Catholics or Jews or Catholic Jewish or Hindus or Druids. I don't care, as long as they have your light. I look at you, and all I can see is light. And I love when you and I unite. When your glow shines on my skin, it's almost sinful, but it feels so right. You turn my hands into solar panels that burn like hot granules of sand as they soak up the solar bands and emanate from your glands and get channeled through every strand of your hair. It just doesn't seem fair that all I can give you are these words when you give me so much of your light. I look at you, and all I can see
But Mr. Medeo, a paragraph is only 5 sentences. No more, no less. A student said that to me. He meant it. He actually meant it. What kind of students, what kind of teachers constrict and constrain, train kids to live in a world without questioning, uncaring and underprepared, themselves scared to change, challenge, try to achieve anything other than the mundane, fear to stand out, as years pile on years. They're speaking blank words to blank eyes, tired thoughts to tired minds, and they pretend not to notice 30 pairs of uncaring eyes. They're talking to students who long since stopped listening to their empty words and stale impersonal lessons, to students who are afraid to question, only answer, and they're breeding indifference like a cancer, tiptoeing meekly around controversy, passing along mediocrity like an STD, hypocrisy like a loaded gun, cocked and locked with resentment for their teachers who bred them to comply, and dying a little on the inside, they sold their spirit and soul for a paycheck. Not a very good one either. They've become what they've always hated, spending their days berating kids for breaking the norm, leaving no choice but to conform. But why try? Why try? Far too few combatively counter compliant culture and seek to inspire with wry creative thoughts that could set the world on fire, instead doused listlessly by dull, dripping derision and sneering, jeering envy of peers' fears, becoming something other than what they are, and all that they could become drifts away, wisps twisting fitfully, hissing regret and bitterness. Teachers and students, students and teachers, with no dreams or ambition to comfort or console broken, blistered futures spent lost on long dying guilts and sand-blasted regrets, forgetting all that no longer remains of long dying ephemeral dreams. 'Cause they don't care, so you don't care, and you don't care, so they don't care. Now all of you stop caring about what I'm saying, and it's not just right now, it's not just right here. Teachers and students, both disillusioned, but both dream of a day when the other will respect them, care enough about them, see them as a person, not as a thing. Teachers and students, stop dreaming, do something.
On my parents' 36th wedding anniversary, my mother asked my father why they had chosen to marry in the shortest month of the year. My father said he couldn't remember, demanded $5,000 to move Debbie into an apartment. Otherwise, he'd burn their house down before the divorce was finalized. My mother went to the bank, withdrew 1,000 regrets, and let him go. Debbie is my father's favorite bartender, and my father, he's always been an alcoholic. Now my mother, she's the martyr of childhood neglect. Illegitimate is her favorite curse word, so she screams it until her face is as polluted as the ocean we grew up on. She cries until she is nothing but salt, but is quick to call my father pathetic. He is quick with the right hook, so I am slow to accept their gifts, from Crayola to Corvette, while my brother quietly fails 3rd grade. I have always used crutches, ridden a special bus to a lonely cafeteria, then ran away to college. While my mother policed our bank account, my father avoided parole. We all had our addictions we couldn't quite let go of. My mother cleaned her kitchen compulsively. My brother worshipped Kurt Cobain. My father made his veins sting with cocaine and tequila. I needed Joni Mitchell, followed by an IV line of lovers, followed by shots of Jack Daniels that made my throat raw. My mother swallowed bitterness long before she hemorrhaged me. My movements jar and disappoint her, and I have always known this, the way birds know migration long before the frost sets in. But my family, we've always loved the ocean. My father has 3 boats. My brother prefers scuba diving. I never ask him if he searches for sharks or treasure. Once, my mother tried to swim the English Channel, but I prefer the Pacific, fly 5,000 miles away from our home, and I call it a poetry tour. I want a lover who kisses forgiveness into my skin like tattoos. My mother craves happiness more than anything,
My father has Debbie, but if we were a healthy family, we'd still live inside an emergency room. Our heart has too many chambers. We will never allow a pacemaker, forgotten how to use a tourniquet. But my brother, he's still that surgeon stitching us back together. My mother must be both scar and gaping wound. My father, he's that scab we will not let heal over. Me, I'm the murmur. I can't stop leaking words.